Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Go ahead and pull up a chair. If you're stepping into a management role right now, especially if it's your very first time, let me save you months, maybe even years of headache. Look, our absolute natural instinct as a new leader is to try and be as approachable and informal as possible, right? We all want to be the cool boss. But there is a massive crucial boundary between professional empathy and over-familiarity. Today, we're unpacking a really profound insight from Sandeep Nair. Trust in leadership does not actually come from just being warm and fuzzy. Trust is built through consistency, not friendliness. Throughout this explainer, I'm going to act as your mentor, walking you through exactly why being predictable absolutely outweighs being popular, and how you can establish the kinds of routines that genuinely make your team feel secure. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's set up a side-by-side comparison. Let's contrast the friendly manager with the consistent manager. The overly friendly manager usually falls right into three very common traps: oversharing, dodging hard feedback because it's uncomfortable, and making arbitrary exceptions just to keep the peace. And because of this, they become incredibly unpredictable. Imagine a missed project deadline. The friendly manager might say, "Oh, hey, no worries, just get it to me whenever," which, unfortunately, instantly erodes team standards. The consistent manager on the flip side says, "All right, we missed this mark, let's figure out exactly what blocked you." You see the difference? They maintain the standard while still offering genuine support. So, while the friendly manager might be liked in the moment, they're rarely trusted when the chips are down. Team morale under a predictable, consistent manager is so much stronger because the team never, ever has to guess where they stand.
Now, the underlying psychology behind why consistency works so well really boils down to one powerful concept. Predictability creates psychological safety. Think about how the human brain responds to uncertainty. It literally triggers a fight or flight response. When employees don't know when or how they're going to be evaluated, their stress absolutely skyrockets. But when you establish predictable feedback cycles, that anxiety simply vanishes. When your team knows exactly how decisions are made, how feedback is delivered, and how commitments are honored, it removes this massive cognitive burden. They don't have to spend half their day trying to read your mood. Instead, they feel secure enough to just focus completely on their actual work. So, how do we actually pull this off in the real world? Well, predictability is built through absolute reliability and small, everyday tasks. To demonstrate this, consider setting up a specific weekly routine for your team. It could look something like this: a guaranteed Monday morning stand-up that you never cancel, a dedicated Wednesday one-on-one, and a Friday wrap-up email. Boom, predictable. Now, throw in 3 small, daily actions to demonstrate reliability. Consistently returning to follow up when you say you will, intervening exactly as promised, and actually delivering on committed performance reviews. These aren't just boring administrative chores, they're massive signals of dependability. Even when an unexpected team conflict arises, a consistent manager doesn't panic. They just fall back on these established communication routines to resolve the issue calmly. That is how honoring small commitments directly impacts long-term team confidence. This brings us to a really tricky dimension of consistency: fairness. A huge trap for new managers is assuming that fairness means treating every single person identically. Actually, scratch that, it really doesn't. Fairness actually means applying principles transparently. Your team is watching carefully to see how decisions are made. If someone gets extra flexibility without a clear reason, trust evaporates. But transparent decision-making helps team members accept difficult outcomes. If you have to deliver news that someone won't like, try using a concrete script exactly like this: "I know this isn't the outcome you wanted, but here is the standard we applied to everyone to reach this decision." When people understand the why behind a choice, they're far more likely to respect it, even if they personally disagree. All right, consistency isn't just about task management. It applies heavily to your emotional regulation too. Let's compare 2 different team morale outcomes based purely on how a manager reacts. An erratic manager, someone who shifts wildly between extreme urgency, complete silence, and then sudden frustration, creates this paralyzed, walking on eggshells culture. It's totally exhausting for everyone. By contrast, an emotionally calm manager who responds steadily, even during a major crisis, creates a proactive, confident team that isn't afraid to take calculated risks. Regulating your emotions prevents team anxiety, period. It proves you're a reliable emotional anchor, and demonstrating that control builds undeniable long-term respect. Which brings us to a very humbling point: handling our own flaws. Listen closely. Consistency absolutely does not mean expecting perfection. In fact, trying to hide your mistakes destroys trust instantly. Acknowledging your mistakes openly shows real accountability and maturity. But hey, what if you're listening to this right now and thinking, "Yikes, I've actually been pretty inconsistent lately"? As your mentor here, let me give you a tip on how to recover. The absolute best way forward is to just call it out openly. You can say to your team, hey everyone, I realize my expectations on this project have been shifting a bit. Moving forward, here is the exact protocol we will follow. Handling your missteps with openness proves to the team that the rules of fairness apply to you too. Okay, if you want to put all of this into practice, here is your ultimate survival checklist for establishing team routines. These are 3 specific habits for building unbreakable team trust. Step 1, communicate expectations early. Clear expectations drastically reduce team stress and encourage long-term commitment. Plus, it helps any new team members quickly learn your management expectations. Step 2, honor small commitments visibly. Let people see you following through on the little things every single day. And step 3, align your behavior with your stated values. When what you say and what you do match up consistently, you never have to demand respect. Aligning your daily actions with your stated values creates this natural credibility that the team just intuitively follows. I want you to take a moment and just let this insight sink in. Friendliness may open the door to trust, but consistency is what keeps it open. Think of your team's trust like a giant building. Friendliness, that's the welcoming lobby. It makes people feel great when they first walk in. It's a wonderful icebreaker. But consistency, that's the structural foundation of the entire building. Without it, the whole shebang collapses the second a storm hits. Professional warmth is perfectly fine. But remember that emotional steadiness and calm responses are what truly foster the long-term team stability you need to navigate uncertain times. The managers who are trusted consistently are the ones whose teams remain confident, no matter what external craziness happens. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a quick self-assessment to check your own daily predictability. Ask yourself these 3 questions. First, if someone new joined the team today, would they quickly understand how decisions are made here? Second, do my reactions to bad news change based on my current mood? And third, do I consistently follow through on the small administrative things I promised to do? Look, if a new person would be totally confused about your rules, or if your mood dictates your reactions, then inconsistency is holding you back as a leader. I challenge you to build a team culture where the foundation is clear, fair, and unshakable. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you use this framework to elevate your leadership starting today.